investigator knows the difference clear. Organs and not fluid.
Come on in now. Auntie Leah is in the house. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are kicking it with Auntie Leah. Yeah, let's get it, let's do it, let's go. Yeah, let's go, let's get it with Auntie Leah. Yeah, yeah, come on, let's do it. Nothing better than kicking it with Auntie Leah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Auntie Leah is in the house. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are kicking it with Auntie Leah. Yeah, let's get it, let's do it. Come on in. Come on in now. So Auntie Leah can do a thing. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yo, 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 yo. How is it going, gang? Thank you so much for returning back to Kicking It with Auntie Leah. Hold on, we're just going to allow some other people to come in to the room with us. Let's take a listen to a song or something until somebody comes in. Just give me a minute. If you guys can hear me, put one in the chat.
Years old, still calling the truth from the pages where the evidence speaks for proof. Let the evidence speak. No fear, no silence, no cover.
Please hit the like button.
Just the truth. Just the truth. 13 years.
I hope everybody's been good today.
And the questions still echo through that gym.
We are still fighting.
Not rumors, not opinions, evidence.
Everybody, please share the live. YouTube always suppresses Kendrick Johnson content. I'm
Let
asking
the
you,
evidence speak.
please share the live.
Wrote a mad in the quiet gym floor. 17 years old and the truth once more. They said accident closed the door quick, but the paperwork started showing cracks in the script. Autopsy report said nothing to see, but another doctor said something different to me. Bruising in the neck where pressure shouldn't be. Now the questions keep knocking like truth wants the key.
Everybody share the live,
Sovereign
please.
immunity blocks the gate, but justice don't bend just because you're the state. Evidence don't lie, it your weights in the light.
Gotta get more
For
people in
somebody
here.
brave enough to read it right. Let the evidence
ATVI.
speak. Don't silence the truth. Every file, every record, every lie, every proof. Let the evidence speak. Let the people all see. Justice ain't afraid of transparency. Let the evidence speak. No more shadows and leaks. If the truth stands strong, let the evidence speak. Let the evidence speak. No more shadows and leaks. If the truth stands strong, let the evidence speak. Visceral gone and the story changed twice. Reach confusion that don't sound right. A trained investigator knows the difference clear. Organs and eye fluid don't disappear. Two autopsies telling two different tales. One say accident, the other one yells. Unforced trauma ringing at alarm bells, but the system built walls where the evidence fell. Gym cameras broken and the man stood tall. Students fighting in the gym, nobody watching at all. Bullying caught on the cafeteria screen, but they say the system ran safe and clean. Truth don't sleep and the truth don't hide. Even paperwork speaks when you read between lines. And every contradiction leaves a mark in the case like fingerprints. Truth can't erase. Let the evidence speak. Don't silence the truth. Every file, every record,
I need to do
every
in the court,
lie,
y'all.
every proof.
Let
Let
the
the evidence speak. Let the people all
gotta be
see.
court.
Justice ain't afraid of transparency. Let speak. This isn't about rumors.
That's right.
This isn't about
Stop
theories.
playing with them. With the Johnson.
This is about the evidence.
And let
The
the
autopsy
evidence
reports, the
speak.
Beecher files, the Schwartz.
So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back to Kicking It with Auntie Leah. I really appreciate you guys being here. I know we got some people in the back that are not, in the chat actively, but I want to welcome the ones that are in the bushes as well. Let you know that your voice matters too. We are speaking about the Kendrick Johnson federal lawsuit tonight and how important it is for them to let the evidence speak. We see the evidence, we found the evidence, we see the discrepancies, we see all the inconsistencies, and they just need to let the evidence speak. Instead, they are trying to jump through legal loopholes and technicalities to prevent the evidence from speaking. So that's why I wrote that song, Let the Evidence Speak. I think it's a very powerful song that actually needs to be shared all over the world, because what they're doing is they're silencing the evidence because of the alleged cover-up. So we're going to try to the best of our ability, hello Kat, to talk and to speak on the sovereign immunity that the Georgia Bureau investigation is allowed. I'm not an attorney. I'm not allowed to give any type of legal advice. This piece that I'm going to play tonight took me a couple of days to get through, and I'm going to present it to you to the best of my knowledge. We do have an attorney on the panel with us. Say hello to Mr. Tommy Wade. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Nice to meet you. We also, of course, got my co-host Young 9 in the house. I don't know how long that Tommy's going to be here with us tonight, but do you know anything about, I'm just going to jump right into it because I just need to know, because I've been studying the law, but I don't have like full 100% accurate interpretation of what sovereign immunity is for the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, which is the GBI, which is the entity that basically is covered by the 11th Amendment, right? They've been given immunity, so they can't be sued, but there are legal loopholes, is what I've read in the law, which I'm not a law professional, but I know how to interpret things pretty good. And one of them is corruption or neglect of one's civil rights. I did put together a video. If you would prefer to watch that video first, it's about 12 minutes, or we can stop and kind of discuss it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that, guys. Without further ado, hey Leah, thank you so much for being here, baby. Please share the live. Everybody share the live so we can get as many people in here as we possibly can. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn the background music down, and I'm going to cue up this video real quick, and hopefully Auntie Leah got it right. I use voiceovers. Everybody know this. It's because I have a speech impediment and I have a mild TBI. So I rather, for people to fully understand what I'm trying to say, I put my words in a voiceover and use my avatar. So here we go.
Sovereign immunity, forensic contradictions, and the demand for accountability. One of the largest barriers to accountability in the Kendrick Johnson case has been the doctrine known as sovereign immunity. Under the 11th Amendment of the United States Constitution, state agencies are generally protected from lawsuits for damages, unless the state consents to be sued, or Congress specifically authorizes such actions. That protection is commonly referred to as sovereign immunity. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, as an arm of the state of Georgia, often asserts this protection when legal action is brought against it. But sovereign immunity was never intended to shield misconduct. And when credible evidence raises questions about the actions of government officials, the public has the right to demand transparency and accountability. In the case of Kendrick Johnson, several issues surrounding the GBI investigation and the first autopsy raise serious questions that deserve examination. The first autopsy, performed by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Medical Examiner's Office, was conducted on January 14, 2013, by Dr. Marianne Gaffney Kraft, a forensic pathologist employed by the GBI. In that report, the official cause of death was listed as positional asphyxia, and the report states that the body showed no significant injuries identified. However, the independent autopsy later performed by Dr. William R. Anderson reached a very different conclusion. That examination documented blunt force trauma to the neck, including hemorrhaging of soft tissues and injury near the carotid artery. The report concluded that the injuries were not consistent with positional asphyxia and described the death as unexplained apparent non-accidental blunt force trauma, requiring further investigation. Two medical examiners reviewing the same death reached two dramatically different conclusions. That alone raises serious forensic questions. But the concerns do not end there. Another major controversy involves the handling of Kendrick Johnson's internal organs following the first autopsy. According to a written letter from Lowndes County Coroner Bill Watson, a conversation took place between himself, funeral home director Antonio Harrington, and Rodney Bryan, a death investigator with the state of Georgia. In that letter, Watson wrote that Bryan confirmed that the viscera, the internal organs, were not returned with Kendrick Johnson's body and were disposed of due to decomposition. Yet, in later statements referenced in investigative records, Rodney Bryan reportedly recanted that statement. Instead, the explanation shifted to a claim that there may have been confusion between the words viscera and vitreous. That explanation raises another critical question. A death investigator and a forensic medical examiner are highly trained professionals who routinely work with anatomical terminology. The difference between viscera, the internal organs removed during an autopsy, and vitreous humor, the fluid taken from the eye during post-mortem examination, is fundamental in forensic pathology. These are not interchangeable terms. They refer to completely different anatomical materials. So, when a trained death investigator initially confirms that the viscera were disposed of, and later that statement is recanted and attributed to confusion with vitreous fluid, it raises a legitimate question about which statement reflects the truth. The first statement, made closest to the time of the events, often carries significant weight in investigative analysis because it is less likely to be influenced by later developments or institutional pressure. These discrepancies form part of a broader pattern of forensic contradictions that continue to raise questions in the Kendrick Johnson case. The first contradiction centers on the cause of death itself. The original autopsy conducted by Dr. Marianne Gaffney Kraft concluded that Kendrick Johnson died from positional asphyxia and reported that no significant injuries were identified. Yet the independent forensic consultation conducted by Dr. William Anderson documented blunt force trauma to the right side of the neck, including hemorrhaging in the soft tissues and injury involving the carotid artery. That report specifically stated that the findings were not consistent with positional asphyxia and classified the death as apparent non-accidental blunt force trauma, requiring further investigation. Two forensic examinations, two very different conclusions, one suggesting accidental suffocation, the other documenting traumatic injury to the neck. The second contradiction involves the handling and disappearance of Kendrick Johnson's internal organs, known in forensic pathology as the viscera. Coroner Bill Watson documented that Rodney Bryan initially confirmed that the viscera were disposed of due to decomposition. Later, that statement was recanted and attributed to a misunderstanding involving the word vitreous, the fluid from the eye. Yet, experienced death investigators and medical examiners routinely distinguish between these materials during autopsy procedures. The viscera refers to the internal organs removed for examination. The vitreous humor is a small sample of fluid drawn from the eye for toxicology testing. These two terms are not interchangeable, and the claim that such a distinction was misunderstood by trained forensic professionals raises serious questions. The third contradiction centers on the presence of traumatic injuries versus the official narrative of accidental death. The independent autopsy documented hemorrhaging in the soft tissues of the neck and injuries involving the mandible and carotid region consistent with blunt force trauma. Yet the original autopsy concluded that Kendrick Johnson died from positional asphyxia and reported no significant injuries. These findings cannot easily coexist. One conclusion suggests a tragic accident. The other suggests traumatic injury that may require further investigation. When forensic evidence presents contradictions of this magnitude, those differences cannot simply be ignored. They demand further scrutiny, they demand transparency, and they demand accountability, which brings us back to the issue of sovereign immunity. Sovereign immunity exists to protect the functioning of government institutions, but it was never intended to prevent legitimate scrutiny of potential misconduct. Under long-standing legal doctrine, including the ex parte Young exception, lawsuits can proceed against individual government officials when they are alleged to have violated federal law or constitutional rights. In light of the discrepancies surrounding the investigation into Kendrick Johnson's death, a serious question remains. Should the Georgia Bureau of Investigation consider waiving sovereign immunity in this case in the interest of transparency and public trust? Because when the death of a 17-year-old student continues to raise unanswered questions about forensic findings, investigative procedures, and the handling of critical evidence, the pursuit of truth should not be obstructed by legal shields. It should be examined openly, fully, and honestly. After more than a decade of unanswered questions, conflicting medical findings, disputed statements, and growing public concern, one thing has become clear. The Kendrick Johnson case has never stopped raising serious questions about transparency and accountability. When a state agency conducts an investigation and the findings of that investigation are later challenged by conflicting forensic evidence, inconsistent statements, and unresolved discrepancies, the public deserves more than silence. Sovereign immunity was designed to protect the functioning of government institutions, not to shield them from legitimate scrutiny when serious questions arise about the actions of government employees. In this case, the concerns surrounding the first autopsy, the conflicting medical findings, the controversy over the handling of Kendrick Johnson's organs, and the contradictory explanations that followed have left the public with more questions than answers. And that is precisely why transparency matters. If the Georgia Bureau of Investigation truly stands by its work in this case, then one powerful step toward restoring public trust would be simple. Waive sovereign immunity. Allow the evidence to be examined. Allow the questions to be asked. Allow the truth to be tested in the light of day. Because when the death of a 17-year-old student continues to raise legitimate concerns about investigative procedures and forensic conclusions, the search for truth should never be blocked by legal protections designed for an entirely different purpose. In the interest of justice, transparency, and public confidence in our institutions, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation should waive sovereign immunity in the Kendrick Johnson case. And the Georgia State Senate, as the elected body responsible for oversight of state agencies, should also step forward and demand a full and independent examination of the evidence surrounding Kendrick Johnson's death. Not because of speculation, not because of rumor, but because the unresolved discrepancies in this case have persisted for far too long. Justice demands answers. Transparency demands accountability. And the people deserve to know the truth. Therefore, I respectfully ask Judge Sarah Garrity to let the evidence speak. I respectfully, as the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, to voluntarily waive sovereign immunity. Finally, I respectfully request the Georgia Senate and House Representatives to waive sovereign immunity. Justice is coming from Kendrick Johnson. Justice is needed for Kendrick Johnson. KJ's army won't stop until justice is served. KJ's army will not stop until justice is served. Justice is coming. God is speaking. Thank you, family.
All right. Okay. So that is the end of the video. So we have learned, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm kind of pretty smart, you know. Let's bring us all back up here. But of course, I don't want to be bigger than everybody. Here we go. We're all even. That there is a way to be able to sue the GBI, and that is what the Johnsons are appealing their current civil case for, because just like the video said that I put together after I did my research, is that sovereign immunity does not dismiss misconduct. What do you think about that, Mr. Wade? Oh, wait a minute. I think you're muted. Okay. Now you're not.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I asked the question again.
About sovereign immunity. Say misconduct in the GBI should not allow them to be able to claim sovereign immunity. They should be able to, if the GBI really wants to be transparent and gain the trust of the community again, they should waive sovereign immunity, because allegedly Dr. Gaffney Kraft, which was the medical examiner that completed Kendrick's autopsy, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the public, based her findings off of nothing that had anything to do with positional asphyxia. What are your thoughts on that? So the courts, the federal courts, are basically blocking the evidence from being examined on legal technicalities.
Right. They're not blocking it. It just, they don't, whoever filing the motions, they're not filing the motions correctly. And you got to look at who's involved. Okay. Where was the teachers at? Where was the administrators at? Why did they let these kids roam the halls without being supervised? Their whole organization is a corporation. Right. Once you get these people, you got to get them reliable, and it's enough evidence to make them reliable. That's why they're trying to shut it down. You know, you done got close, and I know how to file the motions. And see, these people, when they swore in to law enforcement, they have bonds. See, a lot of people don't know this. Like Ashley Paul, he has a bond. You can put a lien against his bond where he can't even operate and get these folks arrested. I told these people, I said this a long time ago, like, this case really wasn't even supposed to go no 13 years without these folks getting arrested. Okay. But they have it's all a corporation. The judge, when the judge swore in to be a judge, see, I know the games they play behind the scenes. That's why I won't swear into the bar. Because I know they're not loyal to the people. They're loyal to the bar. Correct. And when a judge swore in to be a judge, he gave up all his rights as being a U.S. citizen. He has no jurisdiction to sentence nobody or deny nothing. But we don't know this. If I'm going to put some information, I'm going to put it in the book, because half of us ain't even going to read. Right.
Okay.
A
Okay.
judge has no jurisdiction to deny nothing. But we don't know this. You have to make you got to put all the evidence together and hold these folks reliable before you produce a lawsuit. You can't combine those together. You got to make them
Okay.
reliable first, and that's the easy part. Making them reliable because you got the information, you got the proof.
Gotcha.
Holding them reliable is the easy part.
Right. But you
Yes.
got a lot of people that are basically allegedly involved in the cover up. So they're like working together to find
And the re,
legal
the, re, the, the,
technicality.
the, the reason the guy, okay, the little sneaky stuff that Ashley Park did about he gonna put out 500,000 for any information. Yeah, that was cute because that was what white man gonna put up his hard earned money for a black. That was his payoff. He gonna put his payoff on there. And the reason why they sent him the boxes when
Hmm.
they should have put in motion to suppress the information that he got in his office that he won't let nobody see. That should have went to the Johnson family, and they can still get it.
Right.
But the reason why he won't let nobody see it because his name all in it.
Right.
He orchestrated the whole thing from the living room of his house. He instructed Chris Prime what to do.
And his grandson was on the wrestling team at that time, which gave one of the suspects the alibi. So actually, he should have recused himself. Wouldn't you
My
agree?
point, my point exactly. The principal was involved at Lounge High School. The principal was involved. The coaches was involved. That's why they let these folks go in there unsupervised. And the missing footage from the camera that still exists. It's finna surface too.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I do believe that they are fighting, they are appealing with on the grounds of is it corruption
You, you,
with the
you
GBI
got to
or I
you,
forgot what it's called. Go ahead.
you got to be here reliable first, and then you sue.
So what they're trying to do is hi, is Shanaria. What they're trying to make the Johnsons do, and which I agree they don't want to do, and I agree with this, is not sue the GBI. They want them to sue the individuals that they believe are allegedly involved, which is the medical examiner, Dr. Gaffney Kraft, as well as the death investigator, Dr. Rodney Bryan, who actually told the truth to Bill Watson regarding the organs. But in order to save face with the GBI, he recanted his statement to the FBI later on. All of this corruption, but the federal system, why do you think that the federal courts in Georgia do not want the Johnsons to sue the whole GBI? Why do you think
What do I
that,
think?
that a lot of people go down, right?
Yes. And what they should have started at with their lawsuit is Lounge High School because it happened during school hours, which is the technicality.
Absolutely.
Which is the
Absolutely.
technicality. They should have started right there. And once you get the right person, everything else will open up. Because this one gonna tell on this one, but you got to make these folks reliable first.
Right. But from what I'm understanding is they did start right there. They did start right there and they just have been blocked like on every side because of the cover up. The alleged cover up is so tight. So and everything is we see
See,
and I have the loss.
the reason, not meaning to cut you off, but the reason why they was blocked is because whoever was representing them, they knew if they had lawyers, they know the behind the scenes and them lawyers that started out with them folks took payment. They took a payoff too.
Payoff.
That's why they only went to a certain limit.
I
And
mean I agree with that. And that's why they have issues with trusting lawyers today. I agree with that. They're paid oppositions all the way. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody in my audience. Ben Crump is paid opposition. He's
yeah,
paid opposition. Anybody that's up there with the elites, and I'm talking about the Reverend Al, the Reverend Al Sharpton, even Jesse Jackson, all pay ups, meaning that they can get paid off to just go on with their lives or
right,
drop the ball. NCAAP as well.
right.
All of them. The Reverend Floyd, whoever he is, that's involved also
They
under the
they
guys.
they pay him off and pay him to leave.
Right. Yep. And that's why they have so much, issue with trusting people and trusting, lawyers today. And I don't blame them from feeling that way,
Right.
right? Because these people, like the things that I'm finding today, the Jay and I are finding today, even a forensic investigator that was working with us, are things that were there, but they were not looking.
Right.
They did not want to find it. They were there to take the payoff
Right.
and to stall the Johnsons.
Right.
Right.
That was the game plan. That was the game plan from the beginning.
Right. Right. And now
like,
they're
like Mr. Bell. That wasn't no. He wasn't supposed to. Why was he there? Why was it important that he be there the day of?
Listen, allegedly he was there prior to the body discovery, but you know what I believe, right? The body discovery was set up. It was a stage. It was an act.
It was.
You got the two daughters of the superintendents climbing on mats. These are bougie cheerleaders climbing on top of wrestling mats. Talking about they're gonna lay down on how filthy those things are, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We do not believe that. Okay. So one thing I am going to reassure my audience, and I'm going to put in the atmosphere, is that justice is coming. I don't care what they do, what they try to do, what technicality they try to hang stuff up on. It's not working this time. It will not work this time. It is time for justice for the Johnsons, and it's time for justice for Kendrick Johnson. And I don't care what nobody say. Can't nobody make me believe different, because right now is God is moving, and that's what I believe.
Well,
because look,
can I say something?
Go ahead.
Justice is already here.
It's already here.
Yeah, it's just got to be manifested. You got it. Like, you put together all the information you got, and all the information that Miss Erica got, and I thought if y'all put all that together and you present a jacket,
right,
you present a portfolio to the federal courthouse with the motions that I found, I guarantee you they won't get overlooked and they won't get denied.
I guarantee you, because the judge admitted that she was concerned with the inconsistencies. She was already concerned with the inconsistencies. I have to slow myself down.
They're gonna get to her, and she's gonna change her what she said.
Well, we gotta believe
they're gonna protect each other. That's what
I agree with that too.
Well, I'm gonna have to kind of be the angel on the other side of the shoulder. Y'all can be the devil advocates, and I'll be the one on the other side is gonna say, I don't care what they think that they're gonna do. But when God says and stands up and says justice, they're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have people changing their minds, people speaking, people no longer scared. It's going to go through. And it's only going to go through by faith. And I've said this before, that this is not a battle that's in the flesh. We're not battling flesh and blood. We are battling principalities and wickedness in high places that has to bow down. It has to bow down to the Most High God. So they made, just like the inconsistencies in the paperwork, they thought that stuff was perfect. But when you get to messing up, it's like God putting little errors in there, little Easter eggs. So people like myself and Erica and whoever else, J9, can find these things 13 years later. I would wish it wasn't 13 years later. But when I say he's speaking, and ain't nothing nobody's going to be able to do about it. Period.
When you got nothing but lies that you have to pile on top of each other, it's gonna be hits here and there to where they mess up. When you try to build a whole building full of lies.
Correct.
There's gonna be some windows in that building that you're gonna be like, oh damn, I messed up on here. But they try to, and they had limited time to plan all this out.
Say that, nephew.
So everything was rushed. But in their minds, they feel like, okay, it doesn't matter because hey, we got each other back. Oh, here.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where what we need to. That's where we're going at right now, nigga. No, just because y'all did that, y'all think it's gonna be brushed up under the rug. No, it ain't going out like that.
It's not. It's not. Not no more. Not no more. Look at the fact that we found the weight. And here's another thing: is that some of this stuff was found by other podcasters, but those podcasters were either scared or paid not to say nothing.
You just said it.
Yep.
You just
not to say nothing about it.
Yeah.
Right? So we're putting out raw truth, unfiltered, and they mad. We see it. They all over us, right? Attack after attack after attack. But it don't phase us because fear is not in us. And that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of the fact that we're not scared. I'm not scared because I know God got me, right? Y'all not scared. All of this is a game.
I can never be scared. I wasn't scared when I was doing wrong, so you can't be scared doing right.
I know that's right. Because look at the stupid errors. The viscera, versus the vitreous. Come on. You guys are medical professionals, have been knowing this terminology for over 30 years. So the fact that Rodney Bryan, the death investigator that was in the room while Dr. Kraft performed the autopsy, he said that the organs were destroyed by the GBI. That's the truth. That's the truth.
I feel like they were sold.
Well, here's the thing about organs being sold. When I look at the autopsy photos, right, I see his organs. He's dead. I see his organs in his body. I see his brain and lungs, everything. I got the pictures. I can't show it here, but I have those. So the organs were there, but they were dead. So they couldn't be sold because you can't use dead organs. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
they were destroyed. They were destroyed for two reasons: time of death, cause of death. Those were the reasons. Destroy all evidence. Clip his fingernails on the scene, like Miss Jackie said today that Chris Prine said he swept out the fingernails at the scene. They clipped his fingernails at the scene.
He had DNA on them.
Right. Destroyed his organs. Right. Lied and said it was advanced decomposition, which I don't see that when I'm looking at the photos. I do see the right side of his brain swollen, though. I see that, and I can say that as a fact. You also destroyed his clothing because the clothing has DNA and evidence. Fingernails, clothing, organs. All of this stuff that they did is all corruption. All corruption. And the GBI should waive sovereign immunity. And if the GBI won't do it, then the Senate and the House representatives need to step up and waive sovereign immunity and allow this evidence that we have found to be examined. Lies everywhere. Bill Watson, the coroner, he said he was there on January 10th. So did 911. And then all of a sudden he writes a second report without explanation, changing it to the 11th, but still left January 10th in other places on that second report. I don't believe that Bill Watson wanted to be a part of the cover-up. That's why they called him 6 hours later. He was there the day before, allegedly. He already knew. But they forced him, threatened him, paid him, whatever, to go along with the alleged cover-up. What can we do to help the Johnsons, and I'm asking you as an attorney, get this through the legal technicality? Guys, Auntie got a speech impediment. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. What can we do?
We got to put together the information that you got, the information that Miss Erica got, put it in the package, and present it to the federal courthouse up here in Atlanta. See, I have a federal jacket, and what a federal jacket is, it's a covering. Like, file the case in that, they look at the case, then they give you a number, and then they're gonna call the family in, and they're gonna go over the evidence, and they're gonna tell you how to proceed. They're gonna tell you what they're gonna do and how they're gonna proceed from there. But you can't look over evidence. Evidence can't be ignored.
And this is what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to ignore it because the evidence is gonna tell the truth.
they're not ignoring the evidence. They're ignoring the motions that's filed because the motions is not being presented right.
Okay. Understandable. Understandable. So like they're just like trying to jump through these legal loopholes and okay. So when it comes to Lowndes County Sheriff Department, which they are allowed to sue, do you know the reason why that they dismissed that claim is because another lady who is not like the head of the committee of the sheriff's office received the letter, even though the committee and the head of the committee, the chairman, did receive it. Because it was delivered to Peggy, it was dismissed because it wasn't hand delivered to the chairman. That is a legal loophole. You're deliberately trying not to allow this evidence to be examined because he got the letter, he got the summons, he got the court document, regardless if it came through Peggy. But because it wasn't delivered directly through to him, it was allowed to be dismissed. Same thing as Lowndes High School. Theirs were allowed to be dismissed because the Johnsons were penalized for suing certain individuals years ago, and they were fined. Oh my God! On top of their son being murdered and the crime being covered up, they were fined almost $3,000. The school was allowed to say, well, you have no jurisdiction over this federal court because they still have not paid the fines connected to the state lawsuit. And they was allowed to dismiss. Those are technical loopholes that are preventing the evidence, deliberately preventing the evidence from being reviewed. And it's a shame. But I will say that they're not giving up. We're not giving up. Their appeal is in. I'm still looking through the lawsuit. I'm still studying. And like I said, I'm not an attorney or nothing like that. But you're saying that that they're filing the motions and are not being filed correctly. Are you willing to help?
Yes, I tried plenty of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
So,
Auntie,
yes.
I'm gonna talk to you about that.
Okay.
I talked to Miss Jackie.
Yes, sir.
You know she has her own way of seeing
Yes,
things and
ma'am.
doing
Yes,
things.
ma'am. Yes, sir. I know that.
Well, I talked to you about it.
Mhm. Yeah. So right now they are still appealing the lawsuit. It is not over. And as we know, the Johnsons, they will never stop. KJ's army will never stop. And so tonight we did learn about, some loopholes, and I have been assured that those loopholes have been covered in their appeal. So I just wanted you guys to understand what the court system, the federal court system is doing, deliberately doing.
Dang, 7 judges recused themselves.
7 judges recused
Yeah,
themselves. And if Miss Sarah don't want to do her damn job, excuse me, y'all, excuse my French,
she
she
need to
can
recuse
recuse
herself
herself too.
instead of sitting there just letting stuff go on.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Mr. Wade, T Wade, Facebook jail, Tommy Wade.
Yeah,
We really,
they took my other page.
they did.
Yeah.
They did. Okay. All right, well, we really, really, really do appreciate. Have you ever seen the GBI successfully sued?
Yeah, anybody can be sued. You just got to be held reliable first. Once you
Okay.
got once they be held reliable, then you can go for the match.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
have an insurance bond too. They're gonna, like I said, they're gonna protect each other.
Right.
They'll put out like security
Mm-hmm.
for each other.
Oh, we seeing that. We seeing that every day. But one thing about us right now, KJ's Army, along with the Johnson, we got them shook. They are shook. So we really, really, really do appreciate all the advice that you just gave us, the understanding of what you have just given us. We really appreciate you, and come back anytime. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold you because you look like you're in the car driving or
Yeah,
riding the one.
yeah.
So we've taken a lot of your time. So I appreciate you coming. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a paralegal. I'm not anything when it comes to legal. I just studied, found that there were loopholes while they are trying to hide behind sovereign immunity. They can't hide behind that when corruption has been is involved, and clearly, allegedly, we have seen corruption when it comes down to the Kendrick Johnson case. So, I thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And go ahead.
I said you're welcome.
You're welcome. And come back anytime on the panel.
I got you.
And we're not going to hold the audience long either because tomorrow we have to go to work. So thank you so much. And you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Y'all do too. Thank y'all.
All right. Peace. Bye. All right, audience, do you have any more questions? Who am I reading? We still got J9 in the house.
You know Miss Jackie done related to him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. That's about the gist of it though. You know what I mean? I don't know anything else. But we appreciate you guys' time. Oops, y'all saw my bad habit, didn't y'all? But anyway, we'll be back in a few days, a couple of days. I'm gonna try to put together the next segment. Does anybody else want to come up? Anybody else have anything else to say?
Any questions?
I believe rentless. Yes, and I do believe that's what they're doing. I'm looking at the lawsuit, and they are holding everyone accountable. They are holding everyone accountable. I do believe that they're on the right track right now, and they're not, and they're confident. They're confident in their paperwork. They're confident. Go ahead.
I actually agree with what he said about that it should start off with the school. It seems like just by that happening at school, that should be a guaranteed lawsuit.
Yes, we talked about that the other day, right?
Yeah, like because it happened at schools. Like first of all, you couldn't have been monitoring. You know, you couldn't have been monitoring it for that to even happen.
Right.
And by that happening on school ground, that should be an automatic lawsuit.
Yes. And I agree with a lot of things, that Mr. Wade said. Honestly, we got to make sure. Well, they have to make sure, and I do believe that it is. But it got to be tight. The filings have to be tight to where she can't find a legal technicality. Does that make sense?
That the lawsuit have to be
so tight that there none exist. There's nowhere to go but into discovery.
To be honest with you, when it get written up, it really need to go through us. And I really believe dude know what he's talking about too. He need to look at it. I feel like we all just need to take our time and make sure we get it all the way perfect.
Work together as a team.
With backing it up with laws, and backing it up with proof, evidence that you cannot deny. You cannot deny this because it's proof right here.
Yes, working together as a team, collectively, right?
Collectively,
not individually.
I agree.
Once we come together as one body and work together as one body, the head, the arms, the heart, the lungs, one body, they can't stop us. They can't stop us. And I believe that day's coming. I believe it's coming. But they have been hurt. They have been betrayed. We got to work through those barriers because that's what's happened. I mean, they've been hurting since January 10th, 2013. KJ didn't ever come home. The pain never stopped.
I know.
And not,
I
and
know.
not,
Go ahead.
and not only did the pain never stop, the pain got more pain added to it. Does that make sense? Pain, more bullcrap, more bullshit added on top, more bullshit, shunning of the community. You know what I'm saying? Lied to. You know what I'm saying? No proper investigation. You know what I'm saying? Penalties of almost $300,000 when they was just trying to find out the truth. And it goes on and on and on and on. I don't blame them for trusting nobody. But I believe that one day God's going to allow the right body to back up Miss Johnson and Mr. Johnson. And then they will be open to this team that God set in front of them. I might think I'm a fanatic, but guess what? I am. I just believe him. But go ahead, your turn.
He when I talked to Miss Jackie, she was like she feel like the courts are trying to keep making her do all these appeals. You know all this, you know all this costs. That's why I say I feel like we just need to take out. I know everybody want justice, but in this particular case, at this particular time, we need to get very specific on this lawsuit and to gather everything. Like I say, having the law codes and everything to back up this evidence and back up everything that's going on and be precise, no loopholes, and then take them out, take off with it.
Mr. Wade said that I solved the case. We solved the case. The case is solved. I don't know what goes on with that. All I'm saying is, the family thing. What I'm saying is, he's right. If you deliver this lawsuit, and they may have already did it, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. That where there's no opportunity to find a loophole to deny discovery, then where else can one go? You have no choice. And once it gets to discovery, that's going to be the problem. That's going to be the problem because that's when they're going to see what we all know. And, I have people in our inbox talking, oh, you're showing too much or you guys are talking too much. No, silence and watering down the truth is what has gotten them nowhere in the last 13 years, family, right? Right? Podcasts where they're saying, oh, was it an accident or was it murder? Got them nowhere. So don't come to me saying that Erica and I are letting out too much information or talking too much. No, we're doing it for a reason. It's a different strategy. It's to cause an uprising in the community because you guys know what I believe, right? The race bait card lie that divided the community because we see black kids in that hallway colluding with white kid in that hallway, going behind KJ in that hallway into the gym. The race bait card split the community because you have both races. White people going to say, not all you guys, not all you guys. We got some seers, the people that make sense, but they're going to say, oh, it's just an accident. Only because it's the color of their freaking skin. And then you got black people who related to the kids that are in the hallway saying, I ain't going to get my son, Carl Jackson, KJ's cousin. You walked away from the truth. You allowed your blood, allegedly, to suffer. And his mother getting him a lawyer so that he didn't have to talk. Black community, split three ways. There's no unity. And that's why the cover-up has been so tight. I keep saying it. See through the lies. See through everything that happened to Kendrick Johnson after they murdered him had to do with his race. Everything that happened violated his civil rights. Everything that happened violated the Johnsons' civil rights. But those actions that led up to his unaliving were not racially motivated. I say that with my chest. It was jealousy. It was hatred for who he was. They saw his greatness and wanted to take him out. Not because of this. If that was it, we wouldn't see them black boys in the hallway, right? And once we can get Valdosta to really see that you've been bamboozled, the whole city will be at the courthouse. You know what I'm saying, and nephew? And we'll be right behind them, KJ's Army.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not going to hold y'all tonight. I wanted to get out there. We wanted to get out there as a team. And anybody else that wants to come and join the panel, you know, Erica, anybody. Tractor Thomas, Theo Tractor Thomas, he's always a good supporter. Anybody, Gabriella, that wants to come up, I always drop the link. If you're scared to show your face, you don't have to show your face. You just turn your camera off, just like this. Just like that. Come up. Join the conversation. Let us hear from you. Let us hear your ideas. Let us hear your experiences. We love y'all. You got anything else to say?
I think let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. We'll try to be back tomorrow. That's if Auntie Leah, me, can put together a video for y'all, because my audience like videos. And thank y'all. And I'm gonna remind y'all, if y'all want to send a donation, please do. Super chat is great. Subscription helps. I actually make the videos, content, so I have to pay for this stuff every month, not year, and it's a few $100s a month. It's okay if you can't afford it. I don't care. It is not required. I'm gonna do my best to pay for it. That's why I work a full-time job. But I will let you know that they always suggest Kendrick Johnson's content, whether I'm on Facebook, whether I'm YouTube. I don't get the views. I don't get paid thousands of dollars. I showed you guys that yesterday, I believe. I made like $5 for the whole day. That's how they do Kendrick Johnson content. That's why you don't see trolls asking me, they can't say that no more, because I had to put it out there. I haven't seen not one troll say, you're doing this to money. You're making money off this kid, because I put it out there and shut it down. No, I'm not. I'm doing it because I love people. And they need to get justice. So, we love y'all. I'm going to play out this song I wrote today as we head on out. Y'all have a good day, and we will see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace. Love y'all.
Rumors,
Love y'all.
not opinions. Evidence. Let the evidence speak. Wrote a mad in the quiet gym floor. 17 years old and the truth once more. They said accident closed the door quick, but the paperwork started showing cracks in the script. Autopsy report said nothing to see, but another doctor said something different to me. Bruising in the neck where pressure shouldn't be. Now the questions keep knocking like truth wants the key. They say sovereign immunity blocks the gate, but justice don't bend just because you're the state. Evidence don't lie, it just waits in the light for somebody brave enough to read it right. Let the evidence speak, don't silence the truth. Every file, every record, every lie, every proof. Let the evidence speak, let the people all see. Justice ain't afraid of transparency. Let the evidence speak, no more shadows and leaps. If the truth stands strong, let the evidence speak. Let the evidence speak, no more shadows and leaps. If the truth stands strong, let the evidence speak. Visceral gone and the story changed twice. Reach confusion that don't sound right. A trained investigator knows the difference clear. Organs and eye fluid don't disappear. Two autopsies telling two different tales. One say accident, the other one yells. Blunt force trauma ringing at alarm bells, but the system built walls where the evidence fell. Gym cameras broken and the man stood tall. Students fighting in the gym, nobody watching at all. Bullying caught on the cafeteria screen, but they say the stand safe and clean. Truth don't sleep and the truth don't hide. Even paperwork speaks when you read between lines. And every contradiction leaves a mark in the case like fingerprints. Truth can't erase. Let the evidence speak. Don't silence the truth. Every file, every record, every lie, every proof. Let the evidence speak. Let the people all see. Justice ain't afraid of transparency. Let the evidence speak. No more shadows and leaks. If the truth stands strong, let the evidence speak. Let the evidence speak. No more shadows and leaks. If the truth stands strong, let the evidence speak.
This isn't about rumors. This isn't about theories. This is about the evidence. The autopsy reports, the Beedra files, the swore testimony, the contradictions. Justice doesn't fear evidence. Only those hiding from the truth do. Final verse.
So open the files and unlock the door. Truth don't weaken when you ask for more. If the system stands solid, it won't collapse. But justice can't breathe under legal traps. Sovereign shields and courtroom games. Don't erase questions, don't erase names. 17 years old, still calling the truth. From the pages where the evidence speaks for proof.
Let the evidence speak. No fear. No silence. No cover. Just the truth. Just the truth. 13 years. And the questions still echo through that gym. Not rumors. Not opinions. Evidence.
Let the evidence speak.
Wrote a mad in the quiet gym floor. 17 years old and the truth wants more. They said accident closed the door quick, but the paperwork started showing cracks in the script. Autopsy reports had nothing to see, but another doctor said something different to me. Bruising in the neck where pressure shouldn't be. Now the questions keep knocking like truth wants to keep. They say sovereign immunity blocks the gate, but justice don't bend just because you're the state. Evidence don't lie, it's your